If you think geography is boring, today's video might just change your mind. Did you know how long Chile is? If Chile were used as a bridge, it could connect Spain and Canada across the Atlantic Ocean, stretching approximately 4,300 kilometers from north to south. Chile's length is enough to span the gap between Europe and North America. Here's another fascinating fact. The distance from the easternmost tip of Brazil to Africa is about 2,900 kilometers. In contrast, the distance from Brazil's eastern tip to its western tip is roughly 4,300 kilometers. That means Brazil's eastern tip is closer to Africa than to its own western tip. Additionally, the distance from Brazil's northernmost point to Canada is shorter than the distance from its northernmost point to its southernmost tip. Did you know that the world's smallest international bridge is only 10 feet long? It's called the El Marco Bridge, located between Spain and Portugal. Built in 2008 to cross a small canal on their border, it holds the record for the smallest international bridge in the world. Here are some surprising population facts. Mongolia has more horses than people. The Netherlands has more bicycles than people, with 17 million residents, but 23 million bicycles. Australia has more kangaroos than people, with 23 million people compared to 43 million kangaroos. New Zealand also has a unique statistic. There are 27 million sheep, but only 5 million people. Meanwhile, Vietnam boasts 60 million motorcycles for its population of 95 million. Did you know the total land area of the Asian continent is several times larger than the total land area of the moon? Australia is wider than the moon, and the Pacific Ocean is so vast that it could fit 5 moons within its volume. Russia, the largest country in the world, spans an incredible 11 time zones. But here's a fun twist. France actually has 12 time zones. How? Because of its numerous overseas territories scattered around the globe. Algeria is the largest country on the African continent, covering 2,381,741 square kilometers. However, only 10% of its land is habitable, as most of the country lies within the vast Sahara Desert. Did you know that 16 countries in the world have a Hindu population exceeding 1%, while the remaining 179 countries have a Hindu population of less than 1%? Interestingly, 4 major countries, Saudi Arabia, North Korea, Somalia, and Yemen, have no Hindu population at all. Indonesia, a country made up of around 17,500 islands, is incredibly vast. The distance between Saudi Arabia's capital, Riyadh, and Portugal's capital, Lisbon, is about 5,400 kilometers. Meanwhile, the distance between Indonesia's easternmost and westernmost points is approximately 5,300 kilometers, almost as far. Most countries have a single capital city, but South Africa is unique, with 3 capitals, Pretoria, Cape Town, and Bloemfontein. On the other hand, the Pacific island nation of Nauru is the only country without an official capital. Nauru is tiny, with an area of just 21 square kilometers and a population of around 12,000. Did you know it's possible to travel from North Korea, the easternmost country in Asia, to Norway, the westernmost country in Europe, by crossing only Russia? This journey spans about 6,000 kilometers, eliminating the need to pass through 8 other countries on a direct route. Papua New Guinea, with a population of about 10 million and an area of 462,840 square kilometers, is the most linguistically diverse country in the world. It is home to a staggering 840 languages. Indonesia comes in second, with a total of 722 languages. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and if you'd like to see the second part of this series, don't forget to tell us.